Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and there's been so little information out there. I just have to create a video all about what I think is coming. And all I gotta say is HK-47 rework seems legit to me. Now, we do know that a Revan is coming. We're excited about it. I'm excited about it. Revan's going to look awesome. I'm very, very stoked. But when is he coming? Where is he coming? How is he coming? We don't know. And I've got to say that one of the things that I'm really, really excited for is what's going to happen in the meantime. Personally, I think he's either going to be coming in a legendary or a heroic journey. I have my money on a legendary event. I do think that that is something that is likely going to be the case. This is Jedi Revan, not Exile Revan, not Fallen Revan, not Darth Revan. So this is the first stage of the KOTOR. And since this is the first stage of the KOTOR, I think there are three things that are coming. I think we are going to get a rework and 2 new marquee events. And these new marquee events, I know everyone's going to be upset, but I don't think they're going to be upset when they figure out who they're going to be. And I think we're going to see Carth Onasi as our new marquee character, and the Ebon Hawk as our new ship that's being introduced. Now, we've seen this a couple of times. We saw it with the Houndstooth. We saw it with the reintroduction of IG-88 ship. It was a character, a rework, and a ship. It makes sense that that's something that we're going to be getting. A character, a rework, and a ship. Totally think that's the case. Now, I wanted to show this in the last time that I made a video about this when it was talking about the languages. And this is one of the pieces of evidence that someone on Reddit found. And this was posted 7 days ago from the making of this video. But it is this conversation that takes place in KOTOR between Carth Onasi and the main character, i.e. Revan. And, you know, Carth asks, he says, "You do? Fair enough. What do you want to discuss?" Right? And then he has the 3 options. Carth sighs and he goes all back and forth. He says, and then this is Carth's response, is between that and your facility with languages, I'm lucky. Hence why some people, this guy specifically 7 days ago, called Revan before a lot of us had really even, before the puzzle had even been solved or even been placed. So kudos on you, Wheelbarrow, because this is exactly what we got. We're getting a Revan. But could this also mean that we're getting a Carth Onasi? And I think that's very possible. We don't have any Old Republic ships, and we should get some eventually. It just makes sense to get some eventually. But we don't have anything right now, and we need some. I feel like we do. And really one of the best ships, one of the most iconic ships, specifically with everything KOTOR related, is the Ebon Hawk. And we need it. Now, what would Carth Onasi look like? What would a Ebon Hawk look like? I think Carth, really, there's not a whole lot that I think that I really know about Carth, and I want you guys to fill in a lot of the stuff I leave out of, because it's been a long time since I've played KOTOR. He was a dual wielder. He was really good with pistols. I kind of see this as maybe a Han Solo, like scoundrel Solo, or OG Han type thing, where he's really fast, he's really quick off the draw, he shoots first, and, you know, does a crazy amount of damage. He does have 2 pistols, and I'm thinking maybe he shoots first with the one, does a crazy amount of damage. Maybe the second one gets like a secondary shot, like if the second hit is a critical, you know, there's a 30% chance, then a 20% chance to attack again, or something to that effect. I don't necessarily know. I kind of, and I know this is kind of a silly thing, but I kind of want an ability called Awkward Moment, where Carth looks at Revan. If Revan is in Carth Onasi's team, there's like this awkward moment where Carth's like, if Revan was a woman, he'd be pretty hot. I'd be into that. And, you know, because in KOTOR, if you decide to play Revan as a female character, Carth Onasi and the female Revan can hook up, right? So maybe there's like an awkward moment. Same thing with Bastila. It's got, Revan's got to have that awkward moment with Bastila. Like, ooh, you didn't ever call. Obviously, that's not going to happen because I think people would lose their minds over it. But there's a lot for this character. I think the real ability, the real strength to a Carth Onasi would be he'd be fast and he'd hit hard. Carth was reckless, but he was also very tactical. He was brilliant. He was also very loyal. So maybe he could be a tank and an attacker. I'm not entirely sure, but I think there's a lot of value in Carth Onasi. But the best value would be for the Ebon Hawk. The Ebon Hawk was a great ship. Carth was a great pilot. And I think we could see a really cool new ship added to the game. They are focusing on ships. They want us to focus on ships. It just makes sense for this to eventually come in. And I think what better time than the present, right? Get people a little bit excited about a new character. Get people a little bit excited about other ways to engage this. It kind of puts a little bit of distance, especially if they did a marquee event right now. It puts a little bit of distance between and the Revan event, right? And it allows people to farm more. We could take it a little easier. Like, hey, yeah, there's a new character, but we can still farm these other KOTOR tunes. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I think that right now is actually the perfect time for a marquee event. I am a collector. I love collecting characters. I probably won't get a legendary Revan or a Hero's Journey Revan this time around if it comes within the next 2 weeks. If it comes in the next month, I'm going to be really pushing it. I doubt it that I'd get it this time around if it came in the next month, but if it came in the next 2 months and there was some space between, let's say there were 2 weeks here so we could get a marquee event, they're going to introduce this new character, introduce this new ship, it would make sense. Then 2 more weeks to introduce the legendary event, to get people hyped, to get people excited for it. I think that would make sense, and I think it would allow people a little bit of breathing room. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it'd be really cool. Now, what would an HK-47 rework look like? We've seen a number of droid reworks. We've seen a number of reworks, and HK-47 was meta at one time. He used to be the best, the absolute best droid leader. Then, Jedi Training Rey came in and that kind of went out the window. I don't know. I think that a droid meta leader needs to belong to a droid. HK-47 is the man, is the droid for the job. Now, first thing HK-47 needs is an Old Republic tag. He definitely needs to have some kind of synergy with Revan. Whatever Revan comes into the game with, he needs to have the synergy. Now, it's possible, and I would be okay with the synergy being on Revan's side and not on HK-47's, if that makes sense. I'd rather have Revan have that synergy with him than HK. Maybe because I would want this to come earlier. I want the HK-47 rework to come before a Revan. He will probably have some kind of ability that throws out target lock. Now, if you look at his current abilities, Meatbag Mayhem is probably the best place to add target lock here. I think you take off the damage over time for 1 turn and you throw on target lock for 1 turn. And all of a sudden this becomes this really powerful ability, because target lock has become something that is really, really cool and is really effective on droid teams or with droids. And I think with the right mechanic, it could be a very, very effective ability. I think that his leadership ability is definitely something that needs to be reworked. Like I said, HK-47 was a solid leader. He was a leader of droids. He often took over droids and reprogrammed them and did these murderous things with a legion of droids or with other droids. And what I would love to see is something like this. So whoever has landed a target lock, whatever droid has landed a target lock, anytime HK-47 calls or attacks his basic attack, right? Anytime he has a basic attack, any other droid who's landed a target lock is called to an assist, right? That would be crazy powerful and would all of a sudden make the droids ridiculously insane. I mean, it would, and this is why I'm not a dev, guys, because I would make the craziest stuff and everyone would hate me and hate my game because there would be the most random, weird factions that were like super OP. But it would be really cool for him to have that, that would allow him to allow a droid team under HK-47 to do what I would call overkill, because HK-47 was all about murder and mayhem and destruction, and that would essentially be the case. I mean, it would be amazing. It would be super cool. The only other real change that I would make is to his basic. What I would probably do is I would drop down the chance to gain offense up, maybe to like 40%, 40% chance to gain offense up, or even 25% chance to gain offense up for 3 turns. But then what I would do is I would add this attack does double damage against Jedi, does double damage against something to that extent. HK-47 was a Jedi hunter. That's what he did. That's what he was built for, and he needs to be able to do a ton of damage. Now, you have that a little bit in the Meatbag Mayhem. You have these chances are doubled against Jedi. I would love to see it's like double damage against Jedi. I would love to see something to that effect. Now, I don't necessarily know what this will look like. I don't know when this will come. I'm hoping we see something that comes from this in the next week. Probably in the next couple days. I would be shocked if we don't hear something from CG soon. I am very shocked that we haven't seen anything from an official Road Ahead post soon. It did say in the puzzle that the patience would be well worth it. I'm really hoping that if they do give us a Carth Onasi, if they don't come in a marquee event, that they're just added to a store. We haven't seen anything added to a store, especially the Guild Events store, in a long time. And it would be cool if they just dropped a character like this, someone who would be farmable and easily farmable, and maybe not super devastating to a meta, maybe not super powerful, but powerful enough to be viable and potentially for this Revan event that's supposedly coming sometime soon. Now, again, if they add an HK-47, if they add that one little tag, all of a sudden the panic farm for the HK-47 or for the Revan event isn't so devastating, isn't so freaking terrifying, and it helps a lot. I think a lot to the community. Those are just my thoughts, though. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in this section below. I'm really curious, for those of you who love KOTOR, and I know my abilities for Carth Onasi and the Ebon Hawk were not good. I get that. What do you want to see a Carth Onasi? What abilities do you want to see on him? What abilities do you want to see the Ebon Hawk have? How do you want it to perform? When do you think we're going to get this Revan event? I think we're going to get some information within the next couple of days. I would be absolutely shocked if it wasn't soon. TM. Now, leave a comment in the section below. I will leave a link to those of you who've never played KOTOR. I will leave a link to Amazon. You guys got to check it out. It is a really freaking great game. Let me know what you guys think. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. And as always, my friends, stay nerdy.